In March 2023, a tornado erased this town from the map.
People in Rolling Fork experiencing some of the worst damage. They are cleaning up now after the weekend storm.
90% of it gone in 11 minutes. 17 people died. The water tower collapsed. The schools were gutted. The mayor stood in the wreckage and said one word to the cameras: gone. But Rolling Fork didn't stay gone. Over the next 2.5 years,
there is widespread destruction and devastation throughout Rolling Fork, Mississippi.
This town of fewer than 2,000 people clawed its way back. Families rebuilt homes. Businesses reopened. FEMA trailers gave way to new construction. It was slow, it was painful, but it was happening. And then, on the night of January 24th, 2026, the lights went out again. Winter Storm Fern hit the south like a slow-moving wall of glass. Freezing rain fell for hours. Trees that had survived the tornado couldn't survive the ice. They cracked and dropped across roads, across power lines, across the rooftops of homes that were barely 2 years old. By Sunday morning, every single person in Rolling Fork was without power and without water. The same town, the same people, a different disaster. And this time, the cameras weren't coming. When the tornado hit in 2023, Rolling Fork was everywhere. CNN Fox. The president visited, donations poured in from across the country. But Winter Storm Fern wasn't just Rolling Fork's problem, it was everyone's problem. 1 million homes went dark across the South. Nashville set an all-time outage record. Tennessee and Mississippi were competing for the same FEMA resources, the same generators, the same National Guard units. Rolling Fork wasn't the headline anymore, it was a footnote. And here's the part that keeps people in this town up at night. 1 in 3 residents in Rolling Fork lives below the poverty line. 80% of the town is black. When the power goes out, there's no backup generator in the garage. There's no second home to drive to. There's no savings account to cover a week of spoiled food and burst pipes. Research after Hurricane Harvey and the 2021 Texas freeze found the same pattern every time. The blacker the community, the longer the outages lasted, the poorer the household, the harder the recovery. Rolling Fork fits that pattern exactly. As of February 7th, 2026, 2 full weeks after the storm, parts of northern Mississippi were still without power. 16,000 customers waiting in the dark, some of them in Rolling Fork. Again, the infrastructure that failed wasn't new. The TVA transmission lines that feed power to Mississippi's small utilities were built decades ago. When those lines went down under the weight of the ice, it didn't matter how fast local crews worked. There was no power to distribute. 234 poles snapped in western Mississippi alone. Utility officials compared it to the state's infamous 1994 ice storm. Then they corrected themselves. This one was worse. Rolling Fork has now been hit by 2 federally declared disasters in less than 3 years. The tornado was an EF4. The ice storm set damage records. And climate scientists say the conditions that created both events are becoming more common, not less. The people of Rolling Fork didn't do anything wrong. They didn't build in a floodplain. They didn't ignore the warnings. They rebuilt their town exactly the way you're supposed to, and it got taken from them again. The question nobody in Washington is answering is simple. How many times can you ask a town of 1,600 people to start over? If stories like this matter to you, subscribe to Village 5 for more videos like this. Because the disasters that don't make headlines are the ones that need to be told the most.